welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday. It's time for a 5x5. Now, this is where I take 5 subjects related to magic. I spend 5 minutes talking about each subject, and then I move on to the next subject. It's always quick, it's always snappy, and you never know what you're going to get. Now, today, I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of different stuff, but one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do another live performance for you. One of the most popular segments on the 5x5s are live performances, so I'm going to show you a live performance of me performing at an actual gig. You'll see me performing, you'll see me actually doing a performance. Then in the second segment on this 5x5, I'm going to play the same performance, but this time I'm going to have a commentary track underneath, so you can actually hear my thoughts on what I did, why I did it, why it made sense. I'm going to break absolutely everything down for you. As well as all of that, there's a whole bunch of other stuff coming up as well. So there's a lot to get excited about this week's 5x5. So without further ado, let's get straight into this week's 5x5.
Got one last one for you.
Wow, you like the key master.
I am the key master. Key master. Right. Britain's Got Talent. Right, guys, check this out. I'm going to show you a trick with just 2 cards. Okay, just 2 cards. It's not about the cards. That's not what it's important. There's a 7, there's a 4 and a 7. That's not important. What's important is what I do with them. It was Liz, right? Yeah. Liz, I'm going to take one of these cards, and I'm going to put that card in your hand. And even though you're going to hold on to it carefully, I'm going to take it out without you realising it. I'm telling you what's going to happen before it happens. Watch. Put that right there. Now watch. Hold your hand out for me. The problem is, you have little hands, I have a big card. If I put this in your hand, even if I put it in my hand, there's no way to fit it in completely. So I'm going to tear this up into 6, and I'm even going to tell you how this works. Have you ever seen Indiana Jones, the film? You know the bit in the film where there's an idol on a weighted cliff? And what he has to do is he has to get that idol off the plinth, but if he takes it off, it sets off the moves, right? Yeah? So what he does is he takes a bag of sand, and the bag of sand is the same weight as the plinth. So what happens is he switches the bag of sand with the idol, and it doesn't set off the movie track. I'm going to do a similar thing. I have 6 pieces of card. I'm going to give you one of these pieces, and your job is to squeeze it tightly. Make sure I don't get that 4 out of your hand. Turn your hand, keep your hand like that. Now I'm going to put the other pieces on the back of your hand here, so that we can remind ourselves what's in there. Now I've got the 7. I'm going to tear this 7 up into 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this, and I'm going to use it to switch out that piece of 4 without you realising it, okay? So keep an eye on the 7, keep an eye on her hand, make sure your hand doesn't open. I'm going to take that piece out. 3, 2, 1. Now I've got the piece of the 4. If I've got the piece of the 4, open up your hand and show everybody. Turn it over, and you've got the 7.
Lizzie, you're speechless. She's speechless.
I've literally got nail marks and key marks and face marks in my hand where I've had it that time.
Excuse me, Dave, you need to play him a bit more.
So what you're seeing here is performance of me in a garden party, and I'm going into Tornado card here. So like I said, this is one of the best tricks that you can perform. Now, the first thing to tell you is anybody who knows Tornado card will tell you that these cards cannot be examined at all at any point at the beginning. Now, notice nobody is asking to examine those cards, even though there's a big group of people. Nobody's asking to examine them, and the reason is I'm not treating them with any suspicion. I'm just showing, hey, I've got 2 cards here. We can do something with 2 cards. And if you don't put any suspicion on something, then people won't want to examine it. Instead, I'm actually putting the focus on the spectator. Now, notice I've put one of the cards in my pocket. That's a simple solution when doing walk around. I do get a lot of people saying to me, when you're doing walk around and you haven't got a table, what do you do with stuff when you want to put it down? Well, you have 2 options. You can give it to a spectator, or you can put it in your pocket. But notice I'm leaving it sticking out so they can see it the whole time. Now, obviously, during the tearing process, I think it's really important to present. I see a lot of people doing this trick and they just tear and they don't say anything. And they just say, look, watch, I'm really tearing it. I like to actually give a presentation at this point and like give a frame of reference of exactly what's going to happen. Now, so they hold on to the piece, and notice, for anybody who knows Tornado, I showed the piece face up, put it in their hand, then came back and did the switch. And the switch happened on the offbeat. So I wasn't putting any attention on it. The attention was on their hand. That's where everyone's looking. That's why, everyone completely misses the switch. Now, notice I threw the little pieces of the second card on the floor. I don't want them anywhere near me. Now, it doesn't have to be a floor. It can be a bin. You can throw them into your pocket. It doesn't matter. But I don't want those pieces anywhere near me. I want them out of sight, out of mind. So the focus can go here on the moment of magic. And that's another really important point. When there's a moment of magic, you've put all of the focus on that moment of magic. And that's really important. Because by putting all of the focus there, it's going to heighten the moment of magic, so to speak. Now, at the end, everything can be examined, and obviously, if you've got Tornado, you'll know why it can be examined. But the one other point that I'm going to give you here is the reason it can be examined, the second switch, so to speak. The important thing is that is also done when people aren't looking. So the second switch is done when you're focusing attention on the spectator. And that's also a really important point. You focus the attention on the spectator, and when you focus the attention on the spectator, that's when the switch takes place. So I think the most important thing to learn from this video is understanding the use of on-beats and off-beats, and when there's an off-beat and when there's an on-beat, and making sure that any moves that you do take place on the off-beat, because the best way to hide a move is by doing the move when nobody's looking. If you can work out a way of doing the move when nobody's looking, then it becomes a much stronger trick. So have a look at your own magic. Have a look at your own routines that you do, and think about all of the moves that you do during the course of those routines. And is there any way to do those moves when the audience aren't really focused on what you're doing? Because that will make things a lot easier for you.
Right, I'm going to do another deck review. I haven't done a deck review for a while here on Magic TV. We do them occasionally on the 5x5. So this week's deck review is on the new cards that have just come out through Penguin Magic. And these are P3 playing cards. There you go, penguinmagic.com. And they are called the number 18 Elite Edition Honeybee playing cards that are based on the bee-back design playing cards. They do them in red, they do them in blue. Now, let's talk through what the deck is and what I think about it. So first of all, the cards themselves, I like the box. I really do like the box. It's very clear, very plain. I should point out, if you've never seen me do a deck review before, when I review a deck of cards, I'm really looking at it from a worker's point of view, because I go out and gig. I don't just sit there looking at playing cards going, "Ooh, aren't they wonderful?" A bit like Ryland does. I actually go out gigging with these things, right? So I like to know whether they look good for an actual gig, if it's worth buying them for a gig. So first of all, they're borderless. If you're new to Magic and you don't know what a bee-back design card is, there's no white border. Now I'm going to explain to you why the white borders are, why not having a white border is important in a second. But first of all, I should point out the back design of these are really, really nice. Also, the cards feel amazing. They feel really well. They handle great. The jokers are good, no problem there. 2 jokers, 1 black and white, 1 color. As with most Penguin design cards these days, you've got a double backer and you've got a blank faced card, and then you have the actual cards themselves. And Penguin have priced these very, very reasonably, which is good. So you can see on the spade pip, on the ace of spades, you've actually got the B design, which I thought was quite a nice touch. Outside of that, there's very little difference. The court cards aren't special in any way, shape or form. The other aces aren't special in any way, shape or form. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, are these worth getting compared to a normal deck of cards? They're not that much more expensive than a B deck, and I think they do handle nicer. Let's do a Pharaoh test on these. I've just opened these up. I've got a couple of other decks that I've actually been playing with. Let's do a Pharaoh shuffle test. There you go. Look at that, Pharaoh straight out the box, perfect Pharaoh. So they're nice. They're really good. They feel nice. They handle nicely. It's got a nice selection of gaffs with it. Now, if you're new to Magic, and I know there's a lot of people that watch this channel that are relatively new to Magic, the reason that you might want to have a B-designed pack of cards or a borderless pack of cards like this is to aid with your second dealing. When you're learning second dealing, the lack of a border really helps make a second deal more deceptive, especially if you're doing a strike second, because they're not seeing a border. So if you're doing a second deal, so let's say that you've got the King of Hearts on top and you're doing a second deal over and over again, not having that border there really kind of makes that look a lot better. Now, I'm not the greatest at doing second deals. I've got a passable second deal at best. It's okay, it works. There's a lot of people that have got a better second deal than I have, but my second deal with this back design looks absolutely incredible. Obviously, not having a border does create a couple of issues if you're doing routines with reversed cards, for example. So if I've got a card reversed in the deck, it's very easy to see that that card is reversed there. So if you're doing like certain card routines, then it becomes a bit of an issue, to be perfectly honest. That's something that's worth noting. I've also just noticed, and I can't believe I didn't know this before, I don't know if it's with every deck, but this is a stripper deck. I didn't know this was a stripper deck when I bought it. Is it a stripper deck? Yes, it's a stripper deck. How did I not know this? This is actually a stripper deck of cards. I bought these cards. Shut up, Zay. I didn't even know this. This is actually a stripper deck. My God. Okay, so there's another advantage of it. This is a stripper deck as well. This is even better. This is a really nice stripper deck. It's a tapered deck of cards as well. Who knew? God, I'm the worst deck reviewer in the world. I'm reviewing a deck of cards and I didn't even know that they were stripped or tapered. So in other words, I can turn the kings around, have the cards shuffled, and then in the action of doing a Hindu shuffle or whatever, I can get those 4 kings to the bottom of the deck. There you go. It's a tapered or stripped deck of cards that has a really nice back design. They feel really good and they're stripped as well. Even better. You learn something. Does it say anything on the box about them being stripped? It didn't say anything in the ad. Penguin Magic, does it say anything there? Nope. Okay, there you go. These are stripped. These are tapered. It's a tapered deck. Really nice deck of cards. I'd highly recommend it, especially if you're learning your second deals, and especially if you want a stripper deck that's built into a B design back of cards. There you go. Recommended. You learn something every day. Okay, I wanted to give a shout out to Kev Gregson and Colin Klaus, who between them run the Refraktor project online, which is for me the best online resource when it comes to ungimmicked cube magic that you can get. They have put this incredible resource together online, and it all just uses regular cubes. And it's brilliant. Now, I was at the Magic Circle convention recently, and while I was there, they had a dealer stand, and it's always fun to go over and see them. And Kev has a new book out, which I'm going to be reviewing soon. But as well as the new book, there's a few other bits and pieces, which I'm also going to be reviewing soon. But I wanted to give a shout out, one, to the Refraktor project, because if you haven't actually gone and subscribed yet, you really should. It's a one-off fee, and then you get access to, well, you can kind of buy individual volumes, but the best way to do it is to actually go on there and just buy the whole thing, and then you've got access to everything, and you've got access to so much cube material, it's ridiculous. And if you go on the website, they've actually got a free course on how to solve Rubik's Cube. So this little segment is about giving them a shout out. I've reviewed it before about a year ago, but I need people to understand how great this is. Also, if you haven't already gone and checked out the interview I did with Colin Klaus and Kev Gregson, I interviewed both of them separately. You can want to go and check that out as well. But me and Ryan picked a couple of these up from Kev at the Magic Circle Dealer Day. This is a Rubik's Cube keychain, and it's got a very easy to open key fob. And I think this is brilliant. I've actually started using these, putting it on my my key fob that I've got Keymaster on and I've got Ignition on. And the reason for that is because there's so much that you can actually do with this. Because when I'm doing walk around, I'll only take an ungimmick cube with me. And so I can't really do a cube matching effect unless I use my tattoo, which I can do and I will do, but I'm not predicting the whole thing, I'm just predicting 3 sides, right? So what this allows me to do is when I walk over to a table, I say, hey, I'm going to put my keys down there. We're going to get back to that a little bit later on. Or if I'm doing walk around, I'll give somebody the keys to hold on to. And this keychain's just there. I'll then do something and I'll go into a Rubik's Cube. I'll take a Rubik's Cube out and I'll do a timing force with the Rubik's Cube. Now, I'm putting my timing force on the Netrix. I'm putting my whole Rubik's Cube routine on the Netrix very, very soon. I think it's on the next upload. But
you know, because it'd take too long to explain it now. But if you want to do another variant, Colin Couse has got a variation of a sort of an ungimmicked cube forcing algorithm, which is really fun as well. And you can go check that out on the Refraktor project. But to be honest, any way that you want to get this to match this is great. So, for example, the timing force, I'll do this on Sarah behind the camera. Sarah, I've got 6 guides to a Rubik's Cube. There's a different colour on each side. The concept is simple. The more you mix this thing up, the harder it is to solve. There's actually 47 quintillion million combinations. So, Sarah, as I mix up this cube, anytime you want to, just say stop.
Stop.
Right there, are you sure?
Yeah.
Now, we didn't set this up beforehand. You know that. This is genuinely, she could have stopped wherever she wanted to. And now I can point out the key fob that's over there, and I can pick up the key fob and I can say, well, check this out. Side number 1 matches exactly. Side number 2 matches exactly. Side number 3 matches exactly. Side number 4, that's side number 5, and the one on the bottom is side number 6. And I can have a total cube matchup just by using this mini Rubik's Cube.
You sound like Roland.
I do sound like Ryland, don't I? Gimmick infringement here. Then I can put that cube back down, which will allow me to transition into Keymaster. Although a lot of the time I do Keymaster, put this down, and then put the keys back, and then do this. But anyway, and now obviously I'm in a situation where I can go and solve that cube or do whatever else that I want to do with it. So it's a bit of a shout out to the Refraktor project guys, Kevin and Colin, but also to let you know that these cubes, these mini cubes, are exceptional. And they do sell these as well. And these mini cubes that they've made into key fobs are brilliant. I haven't seen them anywhere else. I've seen key fobs that have mini cubes on them, but the quality of the mini cubes aren't very good. And the quality of these that I got from Kev and Colin are absolutely brilliant. So if you're a cube worker and you like having something that you can do as a bit of an everyday carry, this is something that's on your keys and you're good to go anytime, anywhere. So there you go. That's the mini cube key fob by the Refraktor project guys. So I wanted to give a shout out to one of my favorite Alakazam products, and this is actually something that Ryland does when he's doing walk around, when he's doing close-up magic. This is his opener in walk around magic a lot of the time, and it's called Conker Coins. And I think about 1.5 years ago I mentioned it on the channel, but there's so many new subscribers I wanted to mention it again. It's called Conker Coins. It's by Alakazam, by Peter and Harry Nardi. And it's just a really fun coin routine. And here's the thing, most coin routines, and this is the reason why people don't do coin magic. There's so many magicians that don't do coin magic. And the reason is very simple. Coin magic, and I've mentioned this on the channel before, but coin magic is very, very difficult. And what I mean by that is most coin routines, even the simplest coin routine, you've got to palm a coin. You've got to switch the coin in. You've got to switch the coin out. It's not easy. So you have to learn a lot of stuff and sleights and moves before you can even do the simplest trick. Compare that to a card trick, a self-working card trick. I could immediately perform 7 or 8 self-working card tricks immediately with no skill. I could give somebody who's got no skill with a pack of cards, just teach them where to cut and where to place the cards, and they could do it. So you've got instant gratification with a card trick. You don't have to put any effort in, and you can immediately do the trick. But that's not the case with coin magic. The reason I mention that is because that's not the case with Conker Coins. With Conker Coins, it is pretty much self-working, and it happens in the spectator's hands, and it's super visual. The only negative is it takes about 30 seconds to reset. But if you're performing somewhere, where you can go away and you can reset, that's absolutely fine. A lot of the time when Ryland's doing the House of Secrets and he's doing close-up before his show, he will do this trick, and this is a great trick to do because he can disappear backstage and reset between each table. But it's just a really fun trick, and I'm going to perform it for you right now. Hopefully you can see that I've got 3 coins here on this piece of string. I've got a 2 pence here. This is a 2 pence. In the middle, I have a silver 10 pence, and I have another 2 pence at the other end. And there's something special about them. It's obvious what's special. They have a hole drilled through them completely. Now, the reason for the hole is so that I can put them onto the piece of string or shoelace. And you'll also notice at this end there is a knot. And the reason for the knot is because the coins cannot come off this end. So they can only come off the front. Now, normally, how I would do this, I would have somebody over there hold on to this end, and I would hold on to this end like this. But obviously, I don't have anyone here but Sarah, and she's very camera shy. So I'm just going to put this here. I'm going to try and do it without anyone holding on to it. But it looks like this. It looks like I just take those coins and squeeze. And when I do, I can actually pull that 10 pence out from in between the 2 pences. I can then very cleanly take the 2 pences off, and I can put them down. I can have everything examined, and I can have everything looked at, and that's Conker Coins. And then I can just put the coins back on the string as I go away, and I'm reset. So it's a really fun routine. Everything's examinable at the end. As long as you give people different coins, it's completely examinable. They'll not find anything. It's a great routine for walk around. It just sits in your pocket when you pull it out. And you know what? I have magicians that say, well, hang on, it looks like nothing on God's green earth. Who drill a hole through a coin and put it onto a neon green string? And you've got a point. For sure you've got a point. But to be honest, I don't think that's an issue. I really, really genuinely don't think that's an issue. I've seen Ryland perform this many, many times. I've performed it many, many times. And it's the impact on the audience that's the most important thing. So it's a bit of a shout out to Alakazam. It's a really cool trick. You can get it directly from Alakazam. And it's called Conker Coins. So there you go. So thanks for watching, guys. Do me a favor, if you like the video, if you enjoyed watching, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And also, don't forget, if you haven't already done so, please go check out The Netrix. It's www.thenetrix.com. It's my online streaming platform. We upload 5 new tricks every fortnight, as well as business advice and getting gigs and theory and scripting and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you want to see what all the fuss is about, go to www.thenetrix.com and you go check that out. I will be back again next week with another 5x5, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. So once again, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.